trigger on is...
We might have found a plot hole there.
I want to know why Naomi didn't just say that Jeremy's not the real father. He's a DNA test.
Yeah.
Can't say nothing.
But then if he already knew, he could have been like, test her too.
No, but what if you get yours in first? There's no judge that's going to say, oh, we're going to test the mother. That's the mother on paper. They're not saying, they're not testing nothing.
You would,
especially when
test it.
No, if he's positive, if his came back positive and then they said test him up, cool. Yours
If
is
it's
negative.
come back negative,
You ain't
you'll go right to ask for
you
them.
Bye.
We still doing it.
You got no jurisdiction here, brother.
Yeah, that's so true. With the speed that she is smashing out novels, you imagine Freida McFadden must go through an outrageous amount of keyboards. You can say what you want about her, that she is repetitive, one-dimensional, and sometimes a bloody disgrace, but you could not say she isn't locked in. Every time we read a Freida McFadden book, I find myself spending the entire time complaining, and every time she releases a new one, I find myself getting reacquainted with that pre-order button on Amazon. This time, our story is not about love found, but love lost. But I know Freida's game. I know her unreliable narration and her misleading titles. If I know one thing, it's that this story will not be about divorce. And I was right. It wasn't really about divorce at all.
Yeah, I think this might be the last Freida book that I read.
Pause
the video right now. Go and read The Divorce by
Freida McFadden. And when you're ready, you can join us for the discussion.
Or you can join us anyway, because we're going to tell you all about it. My name's Elijah.
And I'm Joseph, and welcome to the Aisha Library. You always say that, to be fair. You always like, this is the last one.
I think this
new one
might
comes
be the
out.
last
We're
one.
trying to recapture the magic of the housemaid.
I think this might be the last one. I think
it's got to end at some point, isn't it? It can't go on forever.
Done.
Just trying to recapture the magic of the housemaid, but
having said that, I thought the book was fantastic. I think I don't know. I think I DNF'd it. I know what happened,
surprised.
but I think I DNF'd it. It was just couldn't do it again, man.
They're getting worse as well. Somehow we're
I don't
doing
know
it
if
in order when it gets worse.
I don't know if this was worse.
I think this is worse than Dear Debbie, for example.
I don't think it gets worse than Dear Debbie.
Dear Debbie was shocking, by the way.
Oh.
Do you remember The Tenant? Because The Tenant was shocking as well.
Let's not even.
The Crash.
Yeah, do you want to go?
To say that Freida McFadden is a one-trick pony would be the understatement of 2026. Don't get me wrong, it's a very good trick. No. Or it is until you've seen it 1,000 times at least. She seems to connect well to female main characters, older women in the domestic bliss of marriage and motherhood. Her character seems harmless at first, but often turns out to be crazy or stupid or both. This time around, we are introduced to Naomi Roth, a former doctor and now a stay-at-home mum. Very empowering. Naomi and her husband Jeremy have been married for 5 years, and they have a son together, Teddy. Or do they? It's a bit early for spoilers, but in my defense, this story is fairly transparent. In true Freida style, there are twists, but in my opinion, they are pretty easy to spot coming.
So you spotted all the twists?
Not all of them, I don't think, but definitely the Teddy one.
Okay. Oh, okay, fair enough. I just thought it was just, it just didn't captivate me, the story. Yeah. I mean, after a while, it was just so like, oh, okay, so he's cheating. Okay, so I'm jealous. I'm this jealous mother. And it was just like, all right, just get us to where we need to go, 100%. Sort of thing. One thing that immediately stood out to me was how the first half of the book treats Jeremy wanting custody of Teddy like it's some terrifying threat. The entire story is framed through Naomi's panic that Jeremy might take her son away. But hold on a second, if Jeremy got primary custody, why is that automatically viewed as taking the child away from the mother? If Naomi got primary custody, nobody would describe it that way. And that's where the book becomes accidentally more interesting than it probably intended to be. Because what makes somebody the better parent here? Naomi is emotionally unstable, obsessive, unemployed, and spiraling. Jeremy is manipulative, cold, and clearly gaslighting her. Neither of them exactly screams parent of the year. The book constantly pushes us to side with Naomi because we're in her head. But if you step back from the narration, would you honestly want Teddy living with either of these people?
Yeah, literally.
And while we're on the subject of Naomi's paranoia, was Cora, who was her friend and neighbour, actually snaky for going to Teddy's birthday party when Naomi wasn't invited? Naomi clearly saw it as a betrayal, but from Cora's perspective, she wanted to go, and her son Zach was friends with Teddy. She didn't want him to miss out, but for Naomi, that was an unforgivable betrayal. So did you automatically side with Naomi during the custody battle, or did you find yourself questioning her way earlier than the book wanted you to?
I try not to side with women, but no, it's like you said, neither one of them are
boys got to stick together. Isn't that what they normally say?
I hate men too, but no, there's obviously there's it's like you said, neither one of them are good parents for this child. And we found out why in the end. It's why God denied them the joy of childhood.
Do you think Naomi was being unreasonable when she was like, Cora, how could you? Or do you think Cora was being a bit snaky because she didn't?
Not really snaky. I mean, I suppose you could just drop the boy off and go home or whatever if you're Cora. I mean, but then again,
But Cora was there drinking, having drinks.
She was living it up. She was living it up to be
And
fair.
Naomi was like, "What are you doing here?"
She was like, "What are you doing here?" Because Naomi literally said she wasn't gonna go, but
she wasn't really allowed to go.
Yeah, a little bit snaky, I suppose. She could have told her if she really felt like she had no choice. She could have just said to her, "Yeah, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
I'll tell you how."
Yeah,
it is,
that's
sort of
exactly
thing.
what I would say. I'd say, "Look, mate, look, I'm going. I'm not
I'll
gonna
be
lie.
there.
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie. I'm going. I know
Yeah.
you don't want me to go. You don't want to go, but I'm going."
And then just get it all out and open.
And snap it.
The worst.
Loads of snap. Hey!
The worst thing you could do is get caught there living it up, which is exactly what happened to us.
'Cause now
Actually,
I
the
can't
worst way for
trust
it to
you.
go. Yeah. On top of that,
But
'Cause
the
someone
fact that Naomi went there, surely she
they can't
be
trust each other.
Yeah.
But neither one of them are trustworthy. But there's nothing worse.
Spider-Man
than
meme.
There's nothing worse. Literally, there's nothing worse than being disappointed in both of us. But yeah, if she said what you said, but she's like, I'm just gonna go, whatever it is, whether she
Even
did
if
go
she
or not,
said-
you can still trust them because they
Yeah,
came and told you.
Even if she said, "Oh, I got to take my son," I'm not gonna lie, I like leaving him there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, unfortunately,
Yeah,
I can't
child
leave
is
him.
the best excuse ever
Yeah,
because
exactly.
it trumps everything.
Exactly. Can't shoot. Got a child.
Divorce time already. Naomi becomes suspicious about her husband when he does not kiss her goodbye one day. This is actually pretty realistic, to be fair. Gentlemen in a relationship, or God forbid, a marriage. You guys know what I'm talking about. You change your lock screen or remove the emojis next to her name on your phone. All of a sudden, you have to defend yourself in court. And speaking of court, Naomi gets served with divorce papers on the school playground while picking up her son.
Cold.
Couldn't even wait for her to get home. I don't think this is going to be one of Freida's stronger stories. I think the idea of a divorce works much better as a wordy, introspective, Sally Rooney type story that actually explores the themes of love and separation. This is much more of a fast-paced, plot-driven story where we, the reader, feel like we are waiting for something crazy to happen. Probably Freida's biggest weakness as a writer is constantly using titles that have very little or nothing to do with the actual story. So calling it The Divorce was like total psyop because it wasn't really about a divorce.
Yeah.
They could have been. They didn't even have to be a divorce in
Did
there
they
for it to
get
be
the
the same
divorce?
story. Well, other than it being a plot device to like drive the story forward, that's all it is. And who names a book after a random throwaway plot device?
Yes, I think that's a style.
She's doing it on purpose though. It's not like an accident or anything.
Yeah.
She's doing it on purpose.
Whoops. I'm not gonna lie. When Naomi smashed Veronica over the head with a rock, I genuinely sat up. Because at that point, Naomi had been operating in the realm of messy divorce. Suddenly, we're going full-blown psychological breakdown territory. What makes it interesting is that Naomi keeps crossing lines that somehow get worse every single chapter. Following Veronica? Crazy. Breaking into places? Crazy. Holding Veronica captive in the wine cellar?
You know, wine cellar is crazy.
Insane. Cutting off all her hair because she's jealous of her looks? Completely unhinged. I think even at this point, there's almost an argument that Naomi could have come back from some of her actions. She's being gaslit. Her life's collapsing. She's terrified of losing Teddy. You can at least understand the emotion driving her behavior. But the second she kills poor Ezra,
Yeah, come on.
it's game over.
Roll it out.
Out of all the characters in the book, Ezra felt like the only genuine decent human being. Everybody else was lying, manipulating,
got him killed.
stalking, cheating, kidnapping, or plotting murder.
That is
Ezra
what got
was
him
just
killed.
trying to help. So I commend Freida for that decision. I love that she killed off the redemption arc. So before Naomi commits murder, let's say she handed herself into the police, just after she tied up Veronica and cut her hair off. What do you think the sufficient punishment should be?
Oh, you got to do jail time for that. That's crazy. That's
Cutting off
insane.
somebody's hair?
No, but it's abducting and it's like that's
She didn't
a whole
abduct,
thing.
she broke in. She broke in to
I
her
think
own
that
house.
still counts. I think
To
that's-
her own house.
I still think that counts as
She broke into
abducting,
her
though.
own house.
No,
They
but
were married.
I still think that's abducting somebody though. If
You can't
like,
abduct
keep somebody on the premises
It's
against
false
their will.
imprisonment, definitely.
Yeah, okay, there we go. That's
But
not much better.
can you prove that is the question.
I mean, how would you prove that? You'd have to put them on the stand, innit? See if they have the balls to lie or
So
not.
okay, so what's a sufficient punishment then? A year? For keeping her in her own wine cupboard
God, dude.
and cutting off her hair?
I would say a couple at least.
I'd shave both them bitches. Let them
live by
have
the
it
sword,
out.
die by the sword.
Throw some
Yeah,
boxing
yeah.
gloves in. Get this show on the road.
You just want to see women fight, and so do I. Right on cue, Naomi is as crazy as they come. She kidnaps Veronica, Jeremy's new girlfriend, and ties her up in a wine cellar before cutting all her hair off. Psychological torture, I like it. Then when her lawyer
That's
Ezra
not
shows up,
psychological torture. That's real
yeah,
torture.
it's real torture. No, but it's more about fucking with your mind, because like obviously it doesn't give you any physical
not
pain.
painful.
Yeah, it's not you're not being mutilated or anything like that.
It's close though.
It's
Cutting
on
off
the line.
somebody's
It's
hair-
on the line.
a
Using
woman's
blades,
hair.
using the blades on
Not
someone's
even
skin.
that. Not just that. A woman's hair is different to shaving a man. Shaving a man is not great, but a woman.
Yeah, that's why I say it's psychological
detrimental.
torture. Exactly because of her image and her image in society and that, which is why I say it's psychological.
Mm.
Then when her lawyer Ezra shows up and becomes suspicious, Naomi decides there is only one thing for it and pushes him down the stairs, murdering him.
Nothing I can do.
She said, I have no choice. Crazy escalation, and it almost feels too soon for Freida. Inevitably, the big twist at the end is coming, and it feels like Naomi is a psycho killer. Would have been the perfect bomb to drop right at the end.
Maybe Naomi was becoming divorced from reality. That's why it's called the divorce.
But this is what I'm saying about Freida. We always have to guess because we don't know. Because it's not clear why the book is called that. If I have to, I should not be the one using my imagination. That should be you, the author.
I don't think I'm going to get a divorce from Frida.
Do you know what I mean?
And her books. So, the biggest reveal in the novel isn't Naomi, it's Jeremy. Because for most of the story, we think that we understand the situation. Naomi believes that Jeremy is gaslighting her. Jeremy claims that Naomi is unstable. Veronica looks like the younger mistress who destroyed a marriage. And then Frida pulls the rug out from everybody. Jeremy knew for years that Teddy wasn't biologically his. He knew that Naomi had stolen him. He knew Veronica was the real Teddy's mother. And instead of doing the right thing, he decides Teddy belongs to him anyway.
Both nuts.
Which, I mean, is fair enough. A man steps up to the plate to take responsibility of a child that's not even his. I think that's commendable.
Yeah, I think if you get trapped with a baby, no one can say shit, bro. Like,
Well,
you
I mean-
actually trapped me here. Like, I did not ask for this.
You're not trapped, though. And you never was. Suddenly, every weird thing clicks into place. The poisoned kombucha, whatever that is. The wrong meeting times. The vandalized elephant. The constant attempts to make Naomi look insane. Jeremy wasn't just observing chaos. He was manufacturing it. And honestly, I didn't see that coming. Because Naomi being crazy is one twist. Veronica secretly being Teddy's biological mother is another far-fetched coincidental twist. But Jeremy secretly being the most dangerous person in the entire story was the one twist I genuinely didn't see coming. So let me ask you this. Who actually is the biggest villain in the book? Naomi for stealing a baby?
Yeah.
Veronica for infiltrating a family through an affair? Or Jeremy for knowing the truth the entire time and still deciding that everybody else needs to be moved from the board?
I'm going with Naomi.
Is the worst.
Yeah, I'm going
She
with Naomi because I
saved
think
the kid though.
Naomi's unhinged. You don't know what that she might do, but like I think Jeremy is a bit more of a
But calculated's always worse.
calculate's not always worse because there's a certain type of there's a certain level of damage control.
Emotional.
Calculated, they know what they're doing. They're in control. Whereas someone who's not in
someone
control,
is in control. It's like taking a sniper instead of a machine gun. A sniper's always more deadly than a
it's
machine
more
gun.
precise, but it can be more deadly than a machine gun.
Exactly.
To one person.
Machine
gun can be more deadly to lots of people.
No, yeah, but a machine gun's gonna miss.
Huh?
A machine gun's not gonna miss.
Well, it's not going to matter how much it misses. It doesn't matter how much it misses because it's going to hit more people than it misses. Probably.
I mean, we are just talking.
How do we know?
We're
Yeah,
talking
how do we know?
hypothetically.
How do we know? Yeah,
about
we're
a
talking
hypothetical
for sure.
sniper.
But I look at this as a very. You remember the housemaid? Millie versus
How
Andrew.
could I forget?
Who's worse? I always look at Millie as worse because Millie is just chaotic. You don't know what she might do. She doesn't know what she might do. With Andrew, no one died on his watch because he was in control of the situation. So I look at that as not as bad
I think
as
you're
wanton
just
destruction.
misogynistic.
Wanton destruction. You don't know what Naomi might do. She might just fuck around and push you down the stairs. She might just fuck around and lock you up in your own cupboard, shave all your hair off. Jeremy's gonna do things for a purpose, like for a material end. And I can trust somebody who wants something. I don't trust someone who just wants to cause chaos. I don't know when they're going to
I don't know.
Do it.
I think they're both. I think somebody who's logical and who can make a plan
Yeah.
is always going to be worse. They always have the capability of being worse than somebody who's just going to throw the toys out of the pram.
This is actually quite a nuanced debate, I think, to be honest, because there's multiple ways that you could look at it. Because you're not wrong.
I know I'm not wrong,
But
you're
neither am I.
no, I hear you. I don't want to deal with the kid. Do you know what? It's like trying to fight somebody just kicking, failing, screaming.
Yeah,
like you can't
100%.
really fight that person because everybody's just gonna get hurt.
It's like, would you rather fight a swordsman or an axeman? Like someone who's like a bit more refined with it, maybe, or somebody who's just swinging to
Well,
swing.
Nunchucks is worse.
Yeah.
That's
Nunchucks is crazy.
That's Naomi.
Nunchucks is Naomi. Nunchucks is like it's a danger to both of you.
General Grievous.
Yeah, it's a.
No one wants to fight General Grievous.
You know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying?
Man,
But then they
just
say
spinning the-
fight General Grievous or fight Darth Maul. That's a tough one, you know.
Well, yeah, I know who I'd pick. You know,
Who'd you pick?
General Grievous.
I think you have to.
Yeah,
Darth
Darth
Maul
Maul was
Darth
dangerous.
Maul's.
But anyway, we're getting off topic anyway.
100%.
We'll finish this out later.
Pick this up.
I think that's me done though.
All right, let me go. Ah, yes, flashback. The story takes us back 6 years to explore Veronica's origins, which detail how she lost her baby, Dominic. Let me take a wild guess here and say that Teddy is actually Veronica's long-lost baby who Naomi stole because she cannot have children of her own, perhaps. Or maybe just to trap Jeremy in a marriage, as it is stated earlier that she and Jeremy only got married because she was pregnant.
So just as I said, because I didn't finish it, at what point did Jeremy find out the kid wasn't his? Why he started doing all of that?
It was during the flashback, so he's known the whole time.
So why did he just randomly decide to break up with Naomi after 5 years? And
he was saying there was like a whole renovation that's supposed to be happening in the beginning of the book as well, where he was like, "Oh, we're gonna stay," and what did he say? "I'm gonna stay."
no, but
in
he was
like
kicking her out. He was getting her out of the house for that.
And he cancelled her
But
cards.
I want you to know what it is, why he decided to pull the trigger on his.
We might have found a plot hole there.
Well, that's what, and also I want to know why he didn't just, why Naomi didn't just say that Jeremy's not the real father. He's a DNA test. Like no one's gonna question her, her DNA. No one's going to do that. Just instead of him trying to get the son, look, he's not the father. Post it in.
I guess because she wanted to marry him, she wanted to trap him in a marriage.
No, but when he started to try and do the parental thing, take out court orders, because even if they take a court order out and they say, yeah, you can't see your son, you pull out this straight away. That's not his dad. Give me my son now.
Crazy.
You can't say nothing.
Can't say shit. Yeah.
Can't say nothing. So yeah, I didn't understand.
But then if he already knew, he could have been like, test her too.
No, but what if you get yours in first? There's no judge that's going to say, "Oh, we're going to test the mother." That's the mother on paper. They're not saying, they're not testing nothing.
You would,
especially when
test it.
No, if he's positive, if his came back positive and then they said test him up, cool. Yours
If
is negative.
come back negative,
You ain't
you'll go right to ask for
You ain't got bye.
We still doing it.
You got no jurisdiction here, brother.
Yeah, that's so true.
So no,
The next one can't come off the street and ask me to have tests for my baby. You
Bye.
crazy. You
Bye.
crazy.
Not after you got.
You would have
negative.
to steal her DNA and do it like privately.
And even then, he would still have no jurisdiction. No judge is going to. If no one's come to claim the baby, they're not going to take the baby away.
Yeah, I hear it.
They're going to say, "Oh, it's not, maybe it got swapped in the hospital, but
If they took the baby away, it'd actually be worse off putting it in the system, to be fair. So it wouldn't even be in like the child's best interest.
Exactly.
I mean, assuming his mum was not a psycho, obviously, which she was. But how would they know?
Yeah,
They don't have psycho written on their foreheads. And the final big reveal, Jeremy is a psycho too. He was the one who poisoned Naomi's kombucha. He knew all along that he was not Teddy's biological father and that Naomi faked the paternity test by switching his swab with his father's swab. This reveal didn't hit that hard for me for two reasons. One is that Freida likes to do this thing where we get a brand new POV as the last chapter and it just totally reframes the entire story. It's not really much of a jaw-dropping reveal because she purposefully withheld crucial details about the story from us and we were never going to see that ending coming. Secondly, making Jeremy the bad guy just feels like a last-minute.com attempt to absolve Naomi of her crimes. Let us not forget that she stole a baby, committed paternity fraud to trap a man in a marriage, attempted to murder her own lawyer, kidnapped her ex-husband's girlfriend, and tortured her. I've said this 1,000 times, this is the way it goes with female main characters. Authors are always desperate to rescue them or explain their bad behaviour, as if women never do anything for selfish or evil reasons. We didn't need an extra villain in there. I feel like part of the reason he was like, oh, I never saw it coming is because we've had like 3 big twists already.
Yeah, exactly. I can understand though why people love her work, and if this was the first time you read a Freida McFadden, it's probably going to get you nicely. You're going to think, whoa!
Exactly.
So you know what it is? It's a pyramid scheme.
Yeah, it is. Tell a friend to tell
figured
a friend.
yeah, it's a pyramid scheme.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Scheme. You read the first one, you're like, oh my gosh, this is great. Then you read the next one, and then by the third, you're like, huh, that is the same book. By the fourth, you give up, but she's already onto the new customers.
Yeah, 100%. And of course, she's very much quantity over quality as well. Smashing out these books is crazy. Money keeps rolling in. Can't
figure it out.
Pretty good system, to be fair.
Freida, the pyramid scheme.
Yeah, she's got passive income.
But yes, do we need to do the ratings and recommendations? I don't think I've recommended a Freida book since the first book I've read.
Crazy.
And I don't think I've rated any of them above 0 since the first book as well.
Wow. Would I put this as a 0? I wouldn't put a 0.
Yeah,
I'd probably say 1.
Yeah.
1?
If it was the first time you read a Freida book, what would you rate it? You probably rate it quite high.
I'd probably go 3.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd probably go 3. But then I hope I would have the fortitude to see that this is not a fall-worthy book, regardless of context. There are other Freida books, like if I was reading that for the first time, I'd be like, 5! Like The Boyfriend, for example. I probably would have given that a 5 if it was the first Freida book I read. I think realistically you can't give this one more than a 1. Like, it wasn't about divorce. It was...
Shock.
Yeah, which is always surprised.
Freida, isn't it? It's Freida.
It's not shocking, funnily enough, ironically. So what are you saying? You concurring?
It's whatever, man. I'm not recommending it. I don't think I'm going to read any more Freida books. Not unless people actually specifically ask us.
Yeah.
So I think we're done. This is what, 10 books in?
It's been a good run, yeah.
It's got to be about 8 books at least now.
It's been a slightly above average run.
Till next time.
Till next time.